Good morning everyone. I'm just down at the calf shed at the moment because we've had a new arrival today. We didn't have any calves yesterday and just the one today, so it is still going a little bit slow, which is quite nice. Another replacement, and I've just given her 3 litres of colostrum, which is good. She's lapped that all up. You can see she's sort of shivering. It's not from the cold, it's just because she's got a big full tummy, and that is ideal. So I'll leave it here. I'll shut the door. So she'll be nice and toasty and warm in there. But I'm actually just waiting for Finches to turn up. They are delivering me some bales, which I've sort of ordered. They rang up about an hour and a half ago and said, can we deliver them this morning? I said, yeah, sweet as, that'd be perfect. And they'll be here in an hour and a half, which is right about now, so they shouldn't be too far away. However, first I need to take this set of bale grabs off. Yellow on top. These can come and sit somewhere in here for now. I'll put them back on. Certainly made that look harder than it is. The sun is in my eyes, so I couldn't really see anything. But I put the forks on this tractor. I just think it'll be easier than doing it with the little Landini. So sort of can just lift a little bit more on here. Take that off. I probably don't need to, but it just makes it easier. I've just had a phone call from Bales to say that they've just loaded up the truck and strapped it all down. He's just leaving, so they're coming from the airport, which is about 25 minutes or 20 minutes that way, so they shouldn't be too far away at all. But what I'm planning to do is I'm going to stack them in the new shed here, but I needed to get, I actually ordered these bales probably a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to get the sawdust in. So the sawdust is all in the bays, and what I'm going to do is stack them in these two here, so that one and that one. Leave the third bay for calves because I'll probably need that, and by the time I use that bay there, and these are sort of overflows from the other shed, but by the time I need that bay, I should almost have all the bales out of there. That one will be fine. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use that pen. And then I've also got this one here where the tractor is. I can move that. I'm not sure how they're going to stack. They are big squares. I haven't actually bought them before, so it's going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure how it's going to go, but we'll fit them in there. We'll fit them in somewhere.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight.
Sean's delivering the load today. How many weeks have you been at Finch's for?
I'll be 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
6 weeks. So fairly new, but this is actually Sid's son. Sid's worked over there for, geez, I don't know, 30 years probably?
Yeah, 25, 30.
Yeah, he's actually, Sean's actually a cousin of mine. Second cousin once removed, officially. But we'll get these unloaded, all the strops are off. Geez, they look heavy. Were they loading them 3 at a time or 2 at a time?
Yeah, we've got square like bale grabs.
Oh, so you can. Oh yeah, I might give, I don't know if I'll be able to do 3. I'll try 2.
Yeah.
Try 2 and see what happens. Go for 2. They are pretty heavy.
Every party wants to surrender, darling, you were meant to survive. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head.
It's a hard case. There's actually a little mouse just running around on top of the bale there. Sean's just moving it, so it's going to be a little bit easier to get it off the truck. I've actually got quite a lot. There's only another 6 stacks on the truck, and what am I getting in the bay? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 2 in there. So maybe what I'll do is just put 3 or 4 from the truck in there, and then just put the rest in there because I'll feed it out straight away. That's probably the easiest, and I can always move it later on, but geez, they are heavy bales. They are real heavy. Like even 2 is a bit of a push with the tractor. It can do it, it's just there's no weight on the back of it, and it's sort of, yeah, it's pretty front heavy, but yeah, they're looking good though.
Just like a seed in a garden.
That's quite hard case. I haven't seen Sean for probably years. I think when I first came home like 6, 7 years ago, we played a couple of games of footy together, but yeah, pretty hard case. But I've got all these stacked away. They all fit in here actually pretty easy. I've put 5 of them in this end bay, but it won't be too bad because I will be using them first, and there's a couple that are sort of sticking out the front here, so they might get a little bit wet if it rains, but all in all, most of it's gone in there pretty good. Obviously I could only fit 1 bale. I couldn't stack, you know, 2 beside each other because they're a little bit too big for that. But geez, they're big bales, and they're just packed so tight. Look at that, it's crazy. These are 6 stringers, which means they are bundled together with 6 strings, you know, pink strings, so there's 6 of them along there. Darcy doesn't have one of those balers, he's only got a 4 stringer. These have actually come up from Canterbury, and not just today, but these got brought up back in the summer when the harvest was on. So Darcy actually bought 10 unit loads up, and he's just been storing them at one of his facilities for farmers like me to buy in the wintertime if we need it. And I know it looks like hay, but this is actually straw. It's rye straw, so you can sort of get like barley, wheat, rye, there's even like pea straw, so you can pretty much buy anything, but this is what he had on hand. These bales are like 500 kilos, so they're pretty heavy, and the dry matter percentage in these is like 85%, so roughly there's like 425 kilos of dry matter in each bale, which is quite high, which is good. It's what we wanted. I usually don't buy anything like this, but I could see us running into a bit of a problem. Like, we were running out of grass quite quickly. We did have, you know, just a hard, wet, well, autumn/winter, and I was running out of grass. I needed to buy some supplement in, and thought these would sort of be perfect for feeding the calving cows out going forward. So if we can feed this out and we can give them a little bit less grass, they're still getting the same amount of feed, but just a little bit less grass, we can sort of conserve feed that way. And it does come at a cost. Like, these bales are very, very expensive. One of the big costs around them is getting them up from Canterbury in the first place. I think to get like a unit load up from down there, it's about 4.5 grand, which is pretty crazy. But had to sort of weigh it all up and went with this option rather than, say, silage bales. I just think this is good feed to feed calving cows. And I guess one of the reasons that it is so expensive to get a truck up from down there is that there's a ferry involved as well, so that probably all eats into it. And they don't do a lot of cropping in the North Island. There is some like down Manawatu and stuff like that, but there's a lot that happens down in Canterbury, so that's where most of our straw does come from. And it's a little bit annoying it's so far away, because it does, you know, make these bales a little bit more expensive, but it is what it is. I had to do something, and this is the route I went. I was a little bit worried that these bales weren't going to fit on here. Not that they weren't going to fit widthways, because they're no sort of wider than a round bale, but it's more to do with the length. So there's a little bit sticking over the end of this plastic board or the tray. You can see there's a few slithers there, so that'll fall off when I cut the strings. But all in all, it's pretty much on there, and that'll be right because that can just stay in the brake. You can get an extension for these Hustler feeders that bolt on to here, I think. Bolt onto this bit, and they just come up this way a little bit to add a little bit more room on the platform. But I think I should be sweet. Thought I'd start them on it today, but not actually sure how you do these big squares. We'll just cut the strings anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then just pull them through like so, sort of making it up as I go. Where's that one? And there's all of them. And then just tie them off like that, so as it feeds out, the strings don't go through the feeder. Dad's came in. Dad's come to give me a hand just to get me over the wire. Just give them a few little slices today. Won't give them very much until they get used to it. Oh, jeebus. Feeding out alright now, it's sitting better on the bed. It's actually feeding out really nice off the end. Probably give them a little bit more, and then that'll do them. That'll be enough. I spotted a new calf while I was feeding out, and this is cow number 252. I know that because she's got a ripped ear from a previous tag. I actually really like this cow, so hopefully this is a wee little heifer calf. Looks like one from it. Oh, beautiful. It is nice. Hey, good mum. Must be very fresh, just learning to walk. But these girls are getting straight into the straw, walk all over it as they do. You can actually see, look, there's a lot of that seed heads there. Oh, it looks like beautiful stuff. Oh, 72. A bit of a bully. No, it's not for lying in. I said that top of the bale might fall off, and it has done. You can see how there's a heap here, which isn't the best because they'll probably make a little bit of a mess around it, like what I just spotted though. It's probably a good Canterbury rock, that one. If you don't know, it's really stony and rocky down in Canterbury, so that has probably made the journey up, or they're either weighing their bales more, filling them with rocks and getting the weight up a little bit. But nah, it's good to see these cows getting straight in. Actually, I was a little bit unsure. I thought they might have, had a pretty good feed today, and they might just sort of look at me, but they're getting in, which is good to see. I'm gonna feed out the rest of the bale for their break tomorrow. But it's actually interesting. I was speaking to one of our old neighbours, Dino, in the weekend, and he was saying that he used to get a lot of metabolic issues around calving time with down cows, or milk fever as we call it, and he went to feeding straw out to his springer mob or his calving mob, and he reduced it from quite a few to not many at all. So it sort of does slow them down a little bit inside, or their rumination, I think it is, which is pretty good, because then if it's really wet and raining quite heavily, they don't sort of stand around or walk so much, up and down the brakes. They sort of just stand around because they're quite content and full. So it's got a few purposes, the straw, not just to slow the rotation down, but yeah, they're pretty happy. Good to see. I've just been into town because the Wagyu that we got a couple of weeks ago is ready, so I just went and picked it up. And here it is. So this is our quarter. That's dog bones, so exclude that. But a couple of bags of saucies, and this is all my steak in here. I got it vacuum packed rather than free flowed. How do I get in there? Oh yum, check that out. Porterhouse I'll turn it over there. Good layer of fat though, eh? Like far out, pretty decent. And you can see the marbling. Like there's a lot of air bubbles in there, so it's a little bit deceiving. And being vacuum packed, maybe when I thaw it out one night, I might show you guys. But geez, that looks tasty, doesn't it? Back to it. Just drafted this girl out. I'm gonna take her back to the shed, milk her now, so I can feed that calf. Come on, girl, you can have a drink on the way back. There's the trough down the way. Got my cousins, they've turned up from Auckland. They've come to help out for the weekend. School holidays, of course, at the moment. I'd actually tend to say she's actually a really good cow. Not only does she have pretty good production figures for our herd, but this is her 4th calf she's had. She is a 6-year-old, and including the one from today and the previous 2 years, they've all been heifer calves. So she's had 3 replacements in the last 3 years, which is awesome. That's what we want to see from good cows. So her first one that she had 2 years ago will actually be calving this year as a heifer, which is quite exciting. It's actually started spitting. It did say there was like a chance of showers this afternoon, but I don't think it'll be much. But getting back to this straw, so my plan of attack going forward is that I actually want to get 2 unit loads whenever they're harvesting down south. So instead of buying directly from Finch's, I want to directly buy from the people down south, and they can jack that up for me. I've asked Darcy and he said, yep, that's sweet as. So I can have a little bit of a saving, like cost wise, getting that truck that brings the straw up, I'll get them to bring it up straight from there to here. So they're sort of, well, I guess I'm cutting out the middleman, which will make it a little bit cheaper. But I think having 2 unit loads, there's 39 bales in there, and when they bring the trucks up, they'll be like big H-plated trucks. So it'll possibly be, I don't know, maybe around 46 bales, maybe. I'm not sure. I think Bill said they're like 23 bale equivalents. 20 to 23 bale equivalent. So a little square conventional bale that most people know, they are 1 bale. So 20 of them would make up one of these. And yeah, like I said, 500 kilos. So they are pretty big, but that's sort of what I want to do going forward. I've got the space. Well, if I get it in whenever they're harvesting down there or combining down there, February, is it January to March, somewhere in that space, I can put them in the shed here. And I've also got, that calf shed there. Now that it's cleaned out, I can actually get the tractor in there. So that'd be sweet as. I'll be able to store 2 unit loads, no trouble. It was actually quite good that I used the New Holland. If I had the Landini, I would have had to do it bale at a time, because it might have even struggled then, because it definitely wouldn't have picked up 2 of them. It doesn't have enough grunt for that. But that's what I want to do going forward. I just feel like having that sort of feed on hand going through the winter is going to be pretty handy. And I know it's a cost. It is actually quite a big cost, but I think it's worth it. I think we will get it back. Just sort of holding that condition on the cows, having them eating it through calving, it's just going to be a win-win. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it does come at a cost. So hopefully it's the right thing to do. I know there are people around that do buy straw, and they seem, well, the people I've spoken to that have it, love it. However, that's enough of me rambling on, so that will pretty much do this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up like always, and apart from that, see you next time.